Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. This week, brought to you by... I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Blaine.
I'm Bernie. I look like I'm
Gus.
doing like a Nazi salute, and I'm just trying to point at the sponsor.
They told us that there was no...
I wasn't ready.
Patrick, you told us.
I wasn't
tell us
ready
that, Patrick?
to say my name because there's only one sponsor.
All right. Right.
Also, I want to say right away that
I believe you. I don't believe Gus.
you can now get this podcast on Spotify, finally,
Oh,
in addition to all the other platforms. Look at that.
Spotify.
Yeah, it's the one on the right. There, you can point at that one.
I just want to point stuff. So we're available on iTunes, Spotify, and a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
What's the middle
delicious
one?
pizza. That's
Google
Play. There you go.
Ah, nailed it. Look at me go.
I've never seen that logo. Okay.
We've
I'm
been trying to
gonna
get
check
on
it out.
Spotify forever. I don't know what happened, but thank you for finally putting us on your service. I guess.
Who got us on Spotify?
Ezra.
Oh.
Biggie.
Okay.
Ezra
Yeah.
does what Gus can't. I tried so hard to get us on Spotify.
I think Ezra literally made one phone call, and 15 minutes later we were on Spotify.
Fucking bullshit.
After 12
I went
years.
round and round with them. Patrick tried before me. We've been trying so long. We've been trying for 2 years. Fucking Ezra makes a phone call.
I know, right? So we should have had Ezra make the phone call before. I
Yeah.
feel like Ezra should go to the office and he's got such an imposing figure.
They don't want that.
He's like shake him down.
I
or whatever.
walked around full screen once with Ezra, and I watched everyone in the halls
Clear out.
part the sea for him, and then just be like, and I was like, why didn't anyone look at you in the eyes? He's like,
That makes it seem like he's a bad guy, though. I actively go
Yeah,
to
it
talk
does.
to Ezra. He's a nice dude. He's always like,
Well, don't ruin it for him.
my bud.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Labeling him as a nice dude.
No, he's very scary. Very scary.
We should have him on the podcast sometime.
Yeah, we talked about it.
came on off
I think he'll
topic.
do it.
Yeah, we should absolutely do
he
that.
pulled a beer on off topic last week.
I talked about him doing maybe a game time because I'm in the middle of recording 4 new game times.
I'm gonna ask him who he called at Spotify. Like, what's the number? Like, how did you
friend.
get?
He had a friend.
Oh, how did you make that happen?
Somebody used to work with.
How do you make friends?
Like if any of you went off and got different jobs, then we could do it. We have one friend who's gone off and had a successful career, basically.
Nathan?
April Underwood. Well, I mean, yeah, we have that. April's our
She's
friend.
been like crazy successful.
Yeah, she's like at the top of the heap. Like she was like a VP, I think head of business development at Twitter.
I think she headed product.
Head of product. Yeah, one of those titles. She's
Twitter?
fucking super high up. Yeah, she couldn't help us do anything though. Couldn't get us
She
verified.
could not get us verified. We asked over and over. I think that's how she answered the phone every time we would try to call her.
And now
I cannot
she's
get
at
you
Slack.
verified.
And every time I make fun of Slack, I feel bad. Not that she watches the podcast or anything like that.
Slack sucks.
What?
It's a clunky mess. Piece of shit.
I think Slack's perfectly fine. I just don't get it. Like, why do we need it? You know, and when Slack went down a couple of weeks ago, people on Twitter were going, I can't work today because I don't have Slack. It's like, dude, there's a billion ways to message people.
Just
A
fire up
billion.
AIM again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does have some good integrations, but I think you really need to get into like the nitty gritty of Slack to really get the most out of it.
You
Like
gotta be a power user.
Right, like I had an integration with Google Drive with it. So where if someone sends me Google documents, it alerts me in Slack. I can look at them there.
I feel like it's a little bit more formal than texting and phone calling, but it's a little bit less like a quicker response than email.
Do you dye your beard?
No.
Because your beard is like, it's darker than your hair. It's like
But
this,
there is actually a
manly.
nice gradient, which means his hair gets darker when it is longer.
It's just
Except for
growing
that.
out. I'm letting it grow out.
I hit a horrible
what?
milestone.
Bald spot?
Can you guys by any chance pull up the front page of the Rooster Teeth website? It's roosterteeth.com, one word, all lowercase.
Rooster like the bird, teeth like in your mouth.
I didn't ever expect to hit this milestone, but they put up art for the early bird passes for RTX Austin 2018, and in the clip art that they made is Caboose, I assume it's Caboose, Ruby, and me, and then Jeff. But they apparently have now updated my art to where my beard is gray. They've made a decision now that I have a gray beard, and they've updated the art
What's funny
to
is
show that.
when
I'll be honest, I thought that was Gus.
when I first saw that art, I thought it was me as well.
Oh.
But then when I saw the gray beard, I was like, no, that's Bernie.
For me, it was the polo shirt that really sold it because it's got that character has a polo shirt on.
You got a new one of those the other day, right?
I get these all the time.
There's like a green one that you have now.
No, I had one. This is like they went kind of like down a douchey path a little bit where I have
Tell
ones
me
that
more.
when you flip the collar up, it's green and white underneath the collar. So it's meant to be like popped.
So when your popped collar is up, you're
So
popped.
if I'm ever
and
wearing
popping.
one of these and I keep going like this, it's because I'm mushing down the collar so you can't see the green and white.
That's
Just
that's
do what
embarrassing.
Blaine did and dye it black.
I didn't approve this gray beard though. I want to say that. I did not approve this. I didn't approve it. I didn't approve this gray beard either, but I definitely didn't approve that one. So,
Would you ever dye it?
oh, I got this hat. Listen, I just
Ignored it.
It's a good hat.
Thanks, man. I like my hat. What'd you say?
Would you have a diet?
I have done that before for
You dyed
parts
your
and stuff
beard?
like that. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of parts,
What?
Go ahead.
I got
segue?
on my birthday. Was it last week? The week before? I got a great birthday present from Will Hyde. He came into my office and we had a meeting, and he told me I was cut from Bloodfest.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
At first I thought he was joking. He's like, no, you're cut entirely from the movie. Like
So
we hadn't announced it. I had actually quite a bit of scenes in the
You
movie,
did.
and they were like, "Yeah, your whole like storyline and your whole plot is just we cut it." Like it was like this weird parallel storyline. It was taking people out of the main story, and
Was it
it
just
was messing with
shitty?
pacing. And I was like, "Well, thanks."
From what I
Like,
remember in the script, I enjoyed your part.
I thought it was a good
like
part.
when I heard that you were getting that, I was like, oh yeah, that
Oh,
works.
it was good in the script. What happened was, I can tell you that the notes we got on that were, and I think we all agreed with him, was that the placement of your storyline, it couldn't be moved to a later part of the movie, and it was just while you're in the first act and everyone's learning about everything that's taking place and you're setting up the world, there was just this other storyline that was in there that didn't take part in that. But now people will, in the extended version, will have extended guts.
Here's what we do, though. We just cut that bit out and release it on its own Blu-ray as its own movie. Gus
Just like a
Fest.
short.
Yeah.
Is that
Is
like-
it long enough to be...
5 minutes.
Oh yeah, maybe like 5 or 6
I would
minutes
buy
worth
that.
of
Sell it for $1.
Sell it for $1 or $2.
Yeah.
How much are we allowed to say about Bloodfest? Because
It's premiering this Friday.
Okay.
At South
Yeah,
by
we've had the
Southwest.
trailers, so you can like tell the plot and the ending if you want to.
well, no, that Jesus. Because I was involved to a degree, and I have some fun stories related to that, but I don't know if now is the time to talk about them.
On camera?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in it?
Yes, maybe.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Just fucking blew
But
it.
no,
You blew
it's
it.
well, yeah, do it.
I said you blew it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You blew it.
Yeah, no. Well, for a later podcast, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
'Cause
so-
some fun stuff happened.
So it's funny you say like the outtakes. That's what Will says. Like, yeah, we'll put it like in deleted scenes on the DVD.
Yeah, everyone watches those.
Jesus.
Yeah, with the movies, we're finding this balance. We're trying to find, and honestly, we don't make the movies just for our audience. They're actually supposed to expand, but we do recognize that the first people that are going to watch it are going to be the people who watch Rooster Teeth. And so we're trying to find this balance. Like with Laser Team, the approach was we had half the main cast was recognizable faces from Rooster Teeth. Half the main cast was people from Hollywood, traditional Hollywood. And then we had cameos in there. And there was like, man, reading the notes on Laser Team or the comments from people, it's just like watching our audience try to reconcile that was tough. We've talked about it, I think, on the commentary, Gavin. There was, in particular, in their first Laser Team, people saw any time there was a Rooster Teeth person on screen, they thought it was an inside joke. Like, people didn't understand in the scene, I'm not spoiling anything, Laser Team, if you haven't seen it, when Michael falls in the pool at the high school party, and then Trevor, they cut to a shot, and Trevor's in the shot, and Trevor, like, leans forward and just takes a photo of the guy getting tased and falling in the pool. And everyone's like, yeah, but if you don't know who Trevor is, you're not going to get that joke.
I shot that.
You're not going to get why it's funny that Trevor's taking a photo of Michael. It's like, that has nothing to do with
No,
it in
it's
any
just-
way. It's just we just
Just extra.
that's it. He's just an extra taking a photo. It's just like a normal moment. But because it was Trevor, everyone was trying to put all this like
We should do
importance into it.
We should do a cut where all of those F references are removed. So Michael falls in the pool and then it cuts to just a blank space with nothing happening. And then
Yeah.
cuts back to the action.
Or what we should do is every time we put a Rooster Teeth person in a cameo in one of the features, we should do their scene, and right at the end of the scene, they all go, "Get it?" then we'll cut that into the extended version. But yeah, so it's like we're trying to find the balance. And it's like I think a lot of people noticed that the trailer for Bloodfest doesn't really feature anybody from Rooster Teeth, like Rooster Teeth
Barbara's
personalities.
in one or two shots.
Barbara's in one or two shots, but she doesn't have and you can hear one of her lines of dialogue, but she's not on camera talking.
Right.
And it's like I wasn't like core on that when they were cutting that trailer, but I'm pretty sure that's deliberate to see like how people react because we're still trying to find that
It was because
balance.
she was cut from the movie too, completely.
yeah,
all on the cutting room floor.
They superimposed my scenes onto her for some reason. It's really weird.
but Barbara has the biggest role. Right. Can we talk about finally the Jacob when he came here and he was on the podcast and why we didn't air that podcast?
I wasn't here.
Too. Because I've heard about that, but I didn't know if that's something we were
I think there's speculation that what he talked about was
no-nos.
no-nos or whatever, but that's not at all the case. That's not at all the case.
Well, I mean, what could happen? Is there anything bad that
Well,
could
we had
happen
a technical issue with it, and then we also had the we also had the issue that we had a 20-year-old kid on the podcast, and we didn't realize that we're all drinking around a 20-year-old kid. That's not a good thing to do.
I didn't realize he was 20.
We didn't know either.
He was 20?
Yeah. Big Hollywood movie star, and he's 20 at the time. So it's like, oh, we can't air a podcast where we're all drinking around a 20-year-old. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So,
Oops.
oops. That's one. And actually, we had a huge audio issue on that one. So it's kind of like, well, we could do this and rebuild it or record that. We were like, nope, just don't do that. We'll just let it go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Like, I didn't even drink when the kids were here for the lemon challenge when they were here talking about that. And they just had that thing. You see that they set the world record.
Yeah, it was great. It was just a couple days ago.
So what's the lemon challenge? Is this like new ice bucket thing where you like eat a lemon or something? I've only heard a little bit about it.
It's
Eat a lemon, destroy a lemon.
They were trying
Sign up
to
for
have a
bone marrow.
viral competition, kind of like the Ice Bucket Challenge, where they would get people to register for the bone marrow registration. So where they could do bone marrow matches, which is really important for, helping people with leukemia. So
Yeah, I saw some people, I guess not fully understanding what the point of all of it was. Like I saw Meg did a video, with the lemon challenge thing. She tweeted out, and I saw one of the replies was like, I get that this is, important and cool and all. I just don't understand like the lemon challenge aspect of this. What's the point of all that? It's like I want to reply like, well, if you clicked on the hashtag or you watched the video, you would learn.
I mean, what did a bucket
exactly,
of ice have to do with...
Yeah.
Right. You would learn what the
I'm
point
also-
of it is and the fact that they're going for a world record.
Speaking of bones, where is your skeleton?
It's inside you. Well, my skeleton's inside me. Your skeleton's inside you.
But
Isn't
where?
that-
But where are you?
that's a good point.
I'm in my brain.
That's
So your
you're-
skeleton's in your brain.
No,
you're-
my skeleton's around my brain.
So you're
outside of you.
you're in your skeleton.
Yeah,
It's not in you.
right.
So
Glad we-
it's
I'm like
outside of you.
I'm like a pilot. And like the skull is my cockpit, and I'm like up there, and like the eyes are my windows.
But every time someone asks you where your skeleton is, it's around you, and that's weird.
I see what you're saying. It's not in us; it's around us.
I consider myself like collectively me.
It's
'Cause
below
you have
you,
to
too.
keep in mind that like I have I don't have a great personality, so like muscles are a part of this. So like I have to factor that into it.
So
Why do you feel like you don't have a good personality?
because I don't have a good personality.
Yeah, you do. You're like nice dude who
Do
does
you-
nice
We're
things.
gonna stop you right there because I don't want this to become a pity party. Like,
Do you-
Blaine, it's all right. You're okay.
No,
It's
do you
not.
usually
Why is every compliment?
Because I'm bad at taking compliments.
do you not have as much respect for your bones as you do for your muscles?
No, I have a lot of respect for my bones because I've never broken a bone.
Are you better at boning or muscling?
Muscling, I guess.
I
I
gotta-
don't know because I feel like
that's
I'm known
bad.
for my muscles, but not for my bones.
So you're not
But
very,
So
you're not very good at boning.
circles. I'm known for boners. So there's that.
Which circle?
a story I can tell. But Blake, I don't know why do you think you have a bad personality? Just low confidence?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I can tell you, it's like 50 to 55% of the people that work here like you. So most people enjoy your company.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, just over half.
Statistically, it's good personality.
No, that's good to know. Yeah, I'd say like my skeleton is part of me, but I wouldn't say it's inside of me or around me.
Okay.
Who do you think likes you the least at the company? Gavin, this is a tough one for you.
For me to answer?
Yeah,
I
For myself or for Blaine?
for you.
Oh, but I mean, do we want to say that though? Because I know
I
his
do.
answer.
What's yours, Gus? Who dislikes you the most?
Who
Besides me.
dislikes me the most here?
Who do you think dislikes you the
There's
most?
a lot of people
Right?
that probably dislike me.
But I can't say that though.
I have to think about it.
I know his.
I'm a pain in the ass for a lot of people.
You are. That's the thing. It's not about them. It's about you.
Right.
Right.
It's like whose life do I make the most difficult? You missed a spit take on Gavin there.
Well, who knew it was
It's
coming?
probably someone from sales.
Oh, from sales?
Yeah.
The sales department?
yeah, I would
How about
think so.
department? Which department hates you the most? How about that?
Oh, okay. Here we go. I don't know what.
Oh, but the live action department may hate me more.
Why?
Oh, Achievement Hunter.
Why do they hate you? They
Well,
like
I
you.
don't think Achievement Hunter collectively hates me, but there's an individual in Achievement Hunter that does not like me.
Who's this? Interesting.
I don't know. We don't have to go down this path, but I think
You
that-
started it.
Well, and I was just answering the question. I didn't know. we
You
were
didn't
gonna
have
talk
to
about it.
answer it.
Oh, this is true. Oh shit. I know Gavin's though, but I'm
Do you
not
think
gonna
anyone
say
would
it.
mind if we brought them up? Like, who do you think mine is?
Well, I don't. So the problem with this is I don't. If I want to talk to him about it, then I'll talk to him about it. I don't want to like start some shit talk.
Can I guess?
Sure.
You think Michael hates you?
Yeah, I do think Michael hates.
Really?
me.
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael doesn't hate you.
I don't think he
Michael
likes
does,
me.
Michael does. No,
but
Michael doesn't hate
I
you.
can.
No, I've never gotten that impression.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's I misunderstand his.
I think
he's got that
It's just
agitated
his
personality.
Jersey facade.
No,
that
what I
confuses
think it
you.
is that Michael is used to being the only person in the room who's talking because he just talks and talks and talks. So what happens is when he's not talking, he just does this.
Yeah.
And he stares at you. And I know a lot of people get put off by that Michael quiet stare, but he's just giving you your time to talk.
You guys had a moment on the podcast where you were fronting on each other for that bit. It was tense.
That was tense.
It was tense.
That
moment.
was seriously tense.
I got it on video.
He stepped up.
Yeah.
That was when we had audio podcast.
You were squaring up on him.
See, I always want to ask those kind of questions though, because he said he was upset with a dude at a club, and he was gonna, before Lindsay told the guy to fuck off, Michael was gonna step in and tell the guy to fuck off, but he never got the chance or something like that.
I think that was.
And I was like, I said, okay, I want to see, what does this look like? Show me. I'm the guy.
Oh, and he reenacted
Tell me.
it.
Dude. Yeah, he just like turned on in a second, and he got in my face, and he was like, get the fuck out of here.
That's scary.
What department hates you the most?
Oh, I was dealing with the person.
Oh,
I think Yvonne is done with me.
Oh.
Yvonne's like, it's in a friendly way, but I can tell most of the time it's like as soon as I start talking, she's like,
She would actually do that. Yeah. It's weird.
Oh,
there
this
it
is
is.
it. This
Yeah,
is
that's
the
it.
older podcast.
Look at that long hair on
I think
Michael.
you guys are gonna kiss.
Liz is uncomfortable.
No, guys, so young.
he's like in my space.
And it wasn't. It was actually tense.
It was.
He did that to me on a live stream where he was like blackout drunk. He was like an Extra Life thing, and he got up real tight on my face, and I didn't know how to interact with him because I was like, I'm not going to let him intimidate me, but at the same time, I don't want to start a beef live on air in front of people who are like watching this thing.
I won't let him.
So I just went with it and was like, good one, Michael. Like I was really uncomfortable. And then from then on, I was like, that guy doesn't like me. So maybe that was what started it. I don't know. I like Michael. He doesn't watch the show.
Who do you like least?
Oh,
We're not after that question. It's Gavin. Everybody dislikes Gavin.
yeah. I'm not gonna answer that. I can't answer that.
No, I wouldn't expect you to answer that. That'd be rude.
Man,
Yeah.
when you did your spit take right now, there was a moment at the all hands earlier today. You know, we have this all hands meeting every now and then where the whole company comes out. Who was it? Someone was giving a presentation at the all hands meeting, and they said something I thought was so funny. I did a spit take, and I wasn't drinking anything. Like literally just
Like
saliva
that?
in my mouth. Like,
What are they? What was it?
They were
The fuckboys thing.
yeah, they were describing an upcoming project, and they used the term fuckboy in a very funny way.
Yeah,
But it's also in like a formal meeting where everybody's talking business, and then someone was like, "Yeah, the fuck boys," and then everyone's like, "Like I did the same thing." It was like my instinct reaction.
well, part of that was that presentation was the Achieve line, which you guys did one of the best photo shoots I think you've ever done.
Was it though?
Well, no? Oh, because your
Was it the
short
best?
shorts?
You didn't like the short shorts?
I remember I saw you that day. I'm like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Was that not your choice?
No, it wasn't my choice.
You pulled them off.
Team player?
They gave it to
Hey,
me, and I
short
was
shorts,
like,
bro.
clearly,
Short shorts.
clearly, someone's trying to make me look like an idiot. And then I thought I'm going to make them regret it by making most of the pictures completely unusable.
What's funny is
by rolling them up so high that my pockets were flapping out, my
Or your
testicles.
testes
were-
Oh, yeah, that was a great choice.
I saw you guys. I ran into you guys when you were walking over there to take those photos, and you were wearing that getup, and I didn't even ask you all what you're doing. It was just like, oh, there they go.
I
Yeah,
I
you
had
just
to
don't
stop
bat an
and
eyelid
ask him.
at this
It
company.
was like, whatever.
I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you wearing Daisy Dukes?
Look at that.
that could be a poster.
That's a good looking thing.
We
Wait,
haven't done a poster in a while. This is a live action one.
is the Achieve thing? Is that a?
It's a magnet.
Okay.
Jeff's holding it up with his hand.
Oh fuck! I forgot about the.
Oh, is he? Like, now that's all I can see in the photo is that Jeff's holding it up.
Yeah, I think it was going to slip down.
That takes some strength.
Well, it's also a magnet.
It's also a magnet. It's sticking a little bit on its own.
Yeah, no, don't take that away from him. He's holding up that whole thing. It's also a fucking banner, you know? I mean, how come he has to hold that end and the other end will stand?
It's a magnet.
I get it, but then
The
if
whole weight probably makes it slide down if it's not supported.
Uh-huh.
It was a wet car, right? And he's
Yeah.
holding it in place.
Wet for magnets? They can affect it? I'm not getting this. Can we do a reenactment? Let's get that car back. Get it out. You guys got to show me
Who
this.
hates you the most?
So I said earlier, sales. I think it might be whoever has to schedule or work with me in the live action department.
Can I nominate myself?
Maybe
you are cooperative.
Cameron, because I have to make him really wrangle the schedule and the calendar for availability. That's who I would say.
I know which department hates me the most. Live action, accounting, events.
Accounting probably hates you the most.
What else do we have?
Anything that like comes up against your travel schedule, it just doesn't like you.
Achievement hunter.
Used to be
Human hunter.
Bernie's assistant pool. That was a bad department for you, but you got that all worked out.
Well, they've all gone.
She's gone now. Yeah. But you guys worked it out before she left.
Did you fill that role?
No, I'm looking for a new assistant right now. And by the way, Ellie's still here. She's just doing other stuff.
God rest her soul.
Doesn't she miss being your assistant?
God, I wouldn't imagine so.
But all the perks though. She got to fly in a fucking helicopter. She got a thing out of it.
Yeah.
Why didn't you be
She's working on her own show now.
Can I be your assistant? Do you think I could handle that?
Listen.
You can be a sugar baby. Just put in a lower bid than Gavin.
Oh, Bernie.
I'm at 5,400.
Yeah.
For what?
Don't.
What does that
What are
mean?
you doing over there?
He's paying me to be a sugar baby.
54. What does the number 5,400 mean?
I
That's
get
the average.
5,400 a
That's
month.
the average allowance monthly for a sugar baby.
That's not very.
What?
Oh yeah, that's good.
60K a year.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Tax free. Cash.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
That could mortgage a 7-figure house, probably.
Why would that have to be tax free? Because it would be gift tax, wouldn't it?
I'm sure they're just getting cash, right?
I'm sure there's a lot of sugar daddies writing that off.
$5,000 a month.
Writing that off. That's
This
amazing.
guy right here.
For what?
For your sugar
Purposes.
bubba. I don't know what am I.
what
What
are you offering?
What are you offering? Yo, look, you're upsetting my sugar baby over there.
workout partner. But
I can't help you with that.
Yeah,
I can
Gavin's not doing that.
drive your car.
Man, I read an article.
Your self-driving car.
I tried to loan Blaine my car for the weekend when he had a girl that he knew was coming in from out of town. This is years and years ago, and he wouldn't take my car.
That's fair. You didn't want to wreck it.
Yeah.
And it was also, I think I explained to you too, because I didn't know this girl. I think she was like a model for like the Chive. Okay, that sounds like a humble brag. Anyways, I
Or
didn't.
just a straight up brag.
Yeah,
I didn't want
Okay.
to put out the perception. She was crazy. She ended up being crazy.
All right.
Be careful.
But like in a cool, sexy way. But it's still crazy. Anyways,
Cool, sexy,
so,
crazy bitch. Crazy bitch.
But I didn't
Doesn't have to
want
be
to
saying
put
this.
out the. She didn't know me well enough that to know what my car was, and I didn't want her first date showing up in a Tesla and her being like, "This guy drives a Tesla. He must fuck," and then et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, "No, I'm gonna show up in my shitty Chevy HHR, whatever the fuck I was driving at the time." So yeah,
I do like how you say Tesla.
Is that not how
You say it like
it?
with a Z.
Tesla?
Yeah, a lot of people say Tesla.
Tesla.
Tesla? Oh,
what was
okay.
the guy's name? Is it
Tesla.
Nikola Tesla?
Yeah.
No, I've always said Tesla.
That's what you said. Is that with a Z?
No.
Okay.
Nice.
I have I've got that Model 3 pre-order. It got fucking delayed.
Well, that's not a surprise, is it?
Yeah, I guess not.
I did a thing this weekend. In my car.
You crashed it.
No, well, kind of. I took the kids to today, by the way, or this weekend was Teddy's 13th birthday.
2 teenagers.
So look,
Jeez.
that's where this comes from. All this gray beard is I have no more kids. I have teenagers now. I have no kids.
Teenagers are still kids.
I mean, I have children,
That's weird.
but they're not like kids.
you have spawn.
I have young adults.
A 13-year-old can't take care of themselves.
You better learn.
Can I ask you a
He's
personal
got a few years
question?
still.
What?
Can I ask you a personal question?
I hate when people ask, "Can I ask you a question?" Just ask the fucking question.
I
What's the
agree.
point of asking, "Can I ask you a question"?
I'll either answer it or
No,
won't.
because it builds tension. It's like, oh, it's going to be good.
Well, no, I
Ask
just,
the fucking question.
Well,
No, don't faff about.
Okay, the reason I said, "Can I ask you a personal question?"
What's he gonna do? He's gonna
it's
say no?
obviously
You put
it's
him on the spot.
It's regarding whatever we were just talking about, and it's whether I'm gauging whether or not Bernie's comfortable talking about that.
When you ask
discussion
someone that, have they
in
ever
more
said
in
no?
depth. Yes, if the context
that.
of the discussion.
No
you
one
know?
ever says no to that. Just
Whatever.
ask the question. Just ask the question. Let that be a lesson for everybody.
Being like an internet personality and stuff like that, do you think that you have an expiration date?
That seems like a personal question. I don't know. Well, not really. I mean, I started doing this when I was 29, and now most of the people who I think struggle with that, not at Rooster Teeth, but like in YouTube and online video in general, they're like younger than that and aging out. You know what I mean? It's like, I was like, man, you're like 6 years off or 5 years off from
How
when I
old
started doing this shit.
How old was Fred when he aged out?
I don't know. I mean, I don't. It's also there is the concept of burning super bright and then half as long, and I think that Rooster Teeth has been this nice, steady, slow burn.
You have burned so bright.
Yeah, it's like we were never. I think I've said this before. We were never in the course of the last 15 years, which we're going to be 15 years on April 1st. I can never say that we were number one ever. Like we never had the biggest thing. Like Red vs. Blue season 1 was crazy. That was like, but still, Homestar Runner was bigger.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, when Rooster Teeth was, or when Red vs. Blue was still going and still had its stride, the Guild was always the thing that everyone was talking about at that point in time. Like even if you look at Red vs. Blue, it's not the most popular machinima of all time. The most popular machinima that gets referenced the most is Leroy Jenkins. It's just that one-off video.
Short though, compared to a movie series.
It's a totally different thing. That's slow burn versus the I mean, Leroy Jenkins was a one-off video. Maybe I haven't kept up with the guy's career, but I don't think he's done much since then. You know, I think I was at an event where he was speaking, and he was there as Leroy Jenkins like 5 years later.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and
it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, that's the way the internet works. Is if you're doing a series or you're doing something longer form, you're never going to be as popular as the viral thing of that day. You're never going to be as popular as the cat that fell in the pool, you know? So you can't try to compete with that, you know? Not that that's what the Guild and Homestar Runner are, but Rooster Teeth always not being number one, it kind of helped us, I think, last a longer period of time.
Well, I also like in your position, actually, like thinking about it, there's like dudes like Patrick Stewart that are like old dudes, but they're still like the fucking hot commodity. Like if I could hang out with Patrick Stewart, I absolutely would. So
you're saying you want to hang out with me a lot? Is that what you're saying?
No.
See, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's like older dudes that are like still super popular. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson is kind of like an older-ish guy,
Really?
but he's still like
You think if he's an older
hot
guy?
commodity. He's like, what is he? 50s? 60s?
No, he was Doogie Howser in like 1995. He was like 12 in that. What's Neil deGrasse? Come on, Neil deGrasse, sorry.
I got his ear.
Hold on, Neil. But you know who else? Patrick, you're insulted by this conversation, aren't you? What's his name? Yeah, he's insulted.
Wait, who are you talking about? Neil Patrick Harris or Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Neil Patrick Harris.
I said Neil deGrasse Tyson.
But I knew who you meant.
Wait,
No, you didn't. You said Doogie Howser. And I was like, no,
I got
Stars
confused.
guy.
Sorry, I just watched Starship Troopers. I had my own conversation over here.
how old is he?
Patrick, you're free not to be insulted by my mistake there.
I was so confused.
I thought Neil Patrick Harris is not fucking 50.
No.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Sorry.
That's who he's.
Yeah, he's an old dude.
How old is Neil deGrasse?
He's 59.
You should be worried about Neil deGrasse Tyson. I whistled a little bit. You should be worried about Neil deGrasse
Why?
Tyson because when he was in college, he was fucking ripped. Go look up a college photo
So was my dad.
of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I was talking to somebody today about it, and I was like, yeah, my dad looked like fucking Hercules when he was in like college and early 20s.
What does he look like now?
He's just a more robust dude. He's an offensive line coach. He's an offensive line coach at a high school in Texas.
Are you excited for you to just let yourself go one day, or do you think you'll keep it
See,
up?
you should
I don't
be
want
worried.
to. I don't want
all I have to do is maintain this. This is not hard. This is like 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
This whole thing that you've got going on with these things and those things, it's just like, it's unsustainable.
That part.
What are you going to do? Look at Neil
Oh,
deGrasse
shit.
Tyson.
I feel like he did the whole like Einstein thing where Einstein was like, I'm just gonna wear the same clothes every day because I don't
God,
want to fucking think
Look
about
at that guy, though. I mean,
don't
look at the
remember him-
transformation that he had to make to play Doogie Howser.
I don't
That's
remember.
incredible.
That's method acting. That's like Christian Bale level of like commitment to the role. The machinist losing all that weight.
Yeah, listen, that's the thing. I'm in a period now where I'm trying to cut weight way harder.
Why are you doing that?
Way harder at 45 for something I'm working on later in the year.
Seesaw?
I'm even giving myself a yo-yo. I'm giving myself a long runway, and it's still just like he's talking about weight yo-yo. He says seesaw. I've always called that yo-yo.
A yo-yo is
I
a
thought-
thing you do in your hand.
I thought
It
he
goes
said
up and
Cecil.
down.
What?
What's a seesaw?
A seesaw is when one
plank.
person's at the end of the board and then
Yeah.
the other person goes like
So what are you referring to?
Going up and down.
Why did you say seesaw?
Yeah, seesaw.
If you're trying to lose weight to like get good at seesaw with a lighter person or something.
Oh, I see.
That's a
I
far.
thought you were saying like going up and down in weight like a seesaw goes up and down. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
you
that's
were
what I
saying.
thought also.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm way behind everybody today.
No, I was with you.
To be fair, that was just a throwaway comment that didn't deserve the focus it got.
Like my Neil Patrick Harris. Patrick, were you insulted by Gavin's comment?
Wait, what?
All right, let me read this thing here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by. So, I saw something the other day that didn't make sense to me, and I saw that Twitter announced they were discontinuing their Mac OS Twitter app.
I didn't know that was.
Why did Twitter have a Mac OS app? That doesn't make any sense to me. You have a web browser; it's a web-based platform.
What's like TweetDeck or something?
I have a TweetDeck app, yeah.
You
Right?
do stuff that you can't.
But isn't TweetDeck also just in browser?
Yeah, they had an app and then they killed it.
Yeah.
And
I
then
thought Twitter was built into the OS. I thought it was like a part of notifications, wasn't it?
I don't know if it still is, but it
built
was.
into the OS.
I haven't been to the Mac App Store in probably years, honestly.
Probably most people.
Like I don't use apps anymore. I feel like
Like Twitter's still here. You're right.
the apps aren't like That's not like the hot thing right now. Because I remember when you wanted to make money, you made a hot app.
But that was like a mobile app.
Are you saying that people don't make apps anymore?
No, they
It's dead. Apps are over.
no. I'm saying that.
Shut it down. You can't download anything else.
Now it's all widgets.
Well, no, like.
Oh man, I miss widgets.
Well, fuck it. Because I feel like the App Store was something new that the PC didn't have, and the Mac brought to like the whole equation. And,
Well, see, I my Windows 10, everything is apps now as well.
oh, so I guess they switched over.
Yeah, but that app store sucks.
The Windows Store?
The Windows Store is garbage.
Of course it's garbage.
Terrible. Have they never used a store before? It's like, I don't know how you could make it worse.
I moved my entire like library of content, movies and music. I'm slowly moving it over to Microsoft. Although music, I'm gonna have to keep with iTunes. I'm just too deep there.
I just buy physical media.
No, you
Not
don't.
for music, but all movies I buy on Blu-ray.
Oh, same.
I don't want to own anything on Xbox or Zune or whatever or Apple. I don't want it.
Only things that I really enjoy the visual fidelity of, I'll buy a physical media for.
You don't enjoy the visual
See,
But
fidelity.
if it's really important,
See, the other day I bought MacGruber on Blu-ray.
I would never do that.
Oh fuck!
But basketball as well.
I bought the only two movies that I own on like my PlayStation or a console are X-Men: Days of Future Past because I really fucking wanted to watch it and I didn't want to drive to the store. And MacGruber, I bought MacGruber 2 weeks ago. MacGruber's a fucking classic. You want to watch MacGruber sometime?
Yeah, I do. I
Oh,
really
my
do.
God.
Meg wants to come too. She loves that movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's hang out.
We won't. You're
yeah.
so full of shit. If there's anything bad about you, you're just a liar.
Oh, Gavin does
Whoa.
hate you.
I came to your house at one time. You
Nah,
came
it's
out
true.
with your penis.
It's true.
Yeah.
I
I
was
was
the door
what?
with my dick out.
so I was
Why'd
like
you go to the door with your dick? Hold on. Why'd you go to the door with your dick out?
It was my Woody dick.
Oh,
Had it poking through.
just like coming out the bottom of the shorts.
Yeah. No, through the fly hole.
Oh, through the fly hole.
would it be
Just
a
run it down your leg.
weird start to the night if I did something similar but used real body parts?
That'll be fine.
Okay.
This
Do
is
people
two
know
dudes
about
playing.
that
What?
publicly? That Woody had a giant dick in
I
Laser
think-
Team.
I think we mentioned it.
We mentioned like
But
commentary.
I wore a dancer's belt.
You
with
kind
a
of
giant dick attached to it that crushed my actual dick because of the super tight suits. And then it was just all cut from the movie.
Yeah.
You may have been cut from Bloodfest, but my dick was cut out of Laser Team.
well, your fake dick.
Woody's dick.
My real Gus was cut out of Bloodfest.
Yeah, that was the learning process with all this stuff. I'd say the big learning process from Laser Team was writing an R movie and then all of a sudden it becoming a PG-13 movie partway through. Like you can see the reviews for Laser Team when it was out at festivals. But by the way, I totally pulled a humble brag thing where I untweeted and then retweeted Guillermo del
I
Toro's
saw that.
tweet about Laser Team from like 3 years ago. Right after he won the Oscar, I was like, oh yeah. I was like, let's bump that to the top of the heap. But yeah, the festival reviews are so different from the other one because that was the process by which it went from an R-rated movie to a PG-13.
I like the R cut way better.
I like the R cut way better myself as well, but also because that's
Is that what we
wrote
put on the
and
Blu-ray?
set out to make.
That was the Blu-ray version, right?
I think that's what it is. The
director's cut.
Yeah, it's
Are-
the R-rated version.
Will we only make our movies? Or what was the decision behind that, if you don't mind me asking?
I
Are you
mean, it's
comfortable talking about this?
A lot of it's always a distribution thing. When you go to distribution, it was one of the business decisions that was made to.
Can I ask you a
Make it
distribution
PG-13.
question?
You don't want to limit the audiences. You don't want to limit the reach, right?
Gotcha,
Right.
Gotcha.
I mean, it was a debate. It was a big debate. It was lasted for a long period of time.
Is there a cut available that people can watch of the R?
You could watch the Blu-ray that Gavin said.
Oh, sorry. I
And watch
didn't.
the-
I have a copy if you want to borrow it.
I
You
think
can
we
get
all
together.
have
You can watch
copies.
double feature: MacGruber and Laser Team.
Wait, when was the last time you watched Laser Team?
Probably the commentary.
Okay. Got Bernie?
Well, I watched it when we were in pre-production for Laser Team 2.
I rewatched it right before the Laser Team 2 premiere. I think was the last time I saw
To
it.
just kind of like
like
get
catch up on
freshened
everything?
and stuff.
Make it all fresh.
Mine was like, I want to make sure that we carry things through
Mm.
for Laser Team 2. Like, because we got on set, there's a bunch of ad-libbing, especially with Colton and Nicole. It was just like, you get through the scene and then you're like, okay, now what can we do to punch it up and do some things? And you can always draw back things from the first one.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think, like, if you're doing, like, callback jokes to the first episode or whatever you want to call it, first iteration in a sequel, in a franchise, I don't think that's an inside joke. That's the kind of thing where it's like, you're kind of paying homage to the whole thing,
I'm trying to think of a movie where there was like an inconsistency with a character from the first one to the sequel. I feel like Rambo, maybe. I feel like Rambo's pretty
God,
starkly
I
different.
watched.
Matrix, the Oracle.
Oh,
She died and
Oh.
they replaced
Right?
her.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I
But
watched.
it fit for the character. They were able to navigate that.
Yeah.
I watched Rambo for the First Blood. I watched for the first time
Yeah.
the other day. It's not anything like what I thought that movie was about. It's a really super depressing movie.
Oh, yeah. You mean First Blood?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a veteran that's like with corrupt cops and
I
everything.
thought it was like a badass dude. I thought it was like kicking ass, like
no,
saving the world.
Rambo was
Rambo.
a totally different movie.
He's
It's
like
like Alien to Aliens.
He's like splatting cops and he's clearly got some PTSD, mental health issues. Dark movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I always pictured it being like, yeah. Well, what the sequels?
You think of the later
Rambo
ones,
2.
yeah, where he goes and does that kind of stuff.
Rainbow 2's badass. It starts with him in prison.
Chain gun, like that kind of stuff. That's
when
Rambo.
you're expecting that and you
Yeah.
watch when you watch First Blood,
Yeah.
and the credits roll, and I was like, oh god, what did I just watch?
You know, some like sci-fi and horror stuff from the early 80s, which is when First Blood came out. It's super dark. Like it's like messes with your head. Like the movie The Exorcist, when it came out in the 70s, it's just like it's about a little girl possessed by a demon, and it's just horrifying.
I had sex to Rosemary's Baby one time, and
Go
it
ahead.
was a really fucking weird situation.
How did that happen?
We
It's weird to hear about it.
We went
Yeah.
on a date, and we got back, and we were
Popped in Rosemary.
I hate the fucking Netflix and chill thing, but it was exactly that. Where she was like, "Hey, do you want to watch a movie?" And I was like, "Sure, sure." So, and I voice cracked just like that. And we plugged in. You know, we're going through, and she was a film buff. So then she was like, "Let's watch Rosemary's Baby." I was like, "Okay, yeah." And then we ended up hooking up, and this lady's having a demon baby on the movie. I don't remember what happened because we were having sex. So, yeah,
You were actually having intercourse during
Rosemary's Baby.
the moment.
You didn't move out of the room and like go to the bedroom, or
Or
anything?
like,
No, my bedroom was a fucking pigsty, and I didn't expect to bring anybody home.
or like
that
pause it or mute it.
night.
What
Might
could
have
been an
lowered the volume
indication
down.
that you would take someone home that night, besides being on a date potentially.
What? I mean, I didn't. I told myself I was like, not gonna bring anybody home tonight. I'm not gonna. I've gone down that path before. Just not gonna do it. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, well, here we go.
Little Blaine took over.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. Like as a young guy, I spent all my time like, okay, I really want to try and hook up with someone. And you're like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm definitely not doing it tonight. Oh, I did it. God damn it! Happened again.
How did this happen?
My penis. Oh God.
I also like the mature mindset too of like, I'm gonna go out, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do it. So I'm not gonna clean my room because then I won't bring someone home. It's like then you make the mature decision, you bring him home anyway, and you think, listen, I don't want to like insult you by taking you to the dirty bedroom. I'm just gonna fuck you on the ottoman right here.
While Rosemary's Baby is playing.
Move over,
And I'm not going to stop it. We're just going to lower the volume.
Hey, I had a thing. I was like, sort of like flirty time with a girl watching a movie at home, and she wanted to watch The Boy in the Striped Pajamas,
oh,
which
no.
I'd never seen, and I was like, sure, stick it on, and she'd never seen it. And then it's about the war. It's about. I mean, the movie ends.
Concentration
Spoiler.
camps.
Yeah, with the kid, he gets gassed with a load of Jews by Nazis, and you don't want to touch anyone after the credits roll on that one. It was a limp dick end to the night.
I'm trying to think of some other really shit date movies. I feel like I saw Interstellar on a first date. Boy,
I
that
saw
was
Basic
bad
Instinct
call.
on a first date.
What's wrong with
Oh.
Interstellar?
I mean,
pretty well.
it was a fantastic movie and stuff, but like there was no romance after that. We ended up becoming boyfriend girlfriend afterwards, but then we had a great conversation that night. But it was just like we were just exhausted, like emotionally and like because of how long it was.
We need a better phrase than that means boyfriend girlfriend without saying it. When you say boyfriend girlfriend, it sounds so like immature. Like
You were
oh,
a couple.
Yeah, yeah, but you're a couple when you're dating, like too.
What about you go together?
Yeah, right.
Going steady.
Everything.
We
sounds so
became
immature.
partners. We started a business.
We were boyfriend girlfriend. Just sounds like I don't know. Just
So what is Ashley to you, or fiance? I guess.
fiance? Yeah. I call her my girlfriend on a regular basis, and she says, "Dut, dut, dut, dut. How dare you? How dare you?"
What's
Fiancé.
Meg to you?
The girl.
Okay.
Yeah, girlfriend.
Yeah.
But we're not dating. She made that very clear.
You're not dating.
No, I mean we're like boyfriend and girlfriend, but that's different to dating.
You're going steady.
You're in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
What is dating then? Just the front bit, the beginning bit, where you go on dates?
You're trying to figure it out?
Gotta have progression.
I feel like dating's like the job interview part.
I feel like there needs to be a term for boyfriend or girlfriend who lives with you.
I agree with that.
There's no separation. It's like, oh, my girlfriend.
Oh,
She lives with me.
Living in sin. Yeah.
You always go with the very generic partner.
Because I feel like the step from girlfriend to girlfriend who lives with you is bigger than the step from girlfriend who lives with you to wife.
Really, is it?
Because not as much changes.
Okay.
If I got married, if I was married now, nothing in my life would be different
Well,
except the label.
You
of it.
divide everything by 2.
You made my microphone.
Your microphone just died in front of me.
Your microphone just watched the boy in the striped pajamas. I haven't seen this movie. I don't know what it is, but it sounds horrible.
It's really, really sad.
There was another time where I was with someone, a lady. We were not going steady, and it was Forgetting Sarah Marshall. And the
Good
DVD,
movie.
it is a great movie, and we were laughing, having a great time and stuff like that. And then, like, towards the end, we were doing things, and then it went through the credits, and then the theme, like the menu song that plays during the menu is Russell Brand singing "Inside of You," "Inside of You," "Inside of You," and it was just on loop. And I thought it was gonna stop after like 5 repeats, and then I was like, "Stop! I gotta go!" And, like, turned the fucking thing off.
And were you inside when that happened? When it came on?
Maybe.
Once again, you're in the living room. I got to point out too. Is this like your bedroom chronically dirty?
No, that was
You
my
just enjoy fucking on the couch.
that was my bedroom at my mom and dad's house, which is a whole different thing.
You go, hey baby, the bedroom's for my boyfriend girlfriend. That's when you get the bedroom.
How did you have sex when you were living with your parents?
I never did.
I didn't. Yeah, not when I was living with my parents. No, I didn't have sex till college.
That's not something you can take back.
What do you mean?
Was them here and you do that?
Well, with me though, like my room was on the opposite side of the house. I wonder if my parents were aware.
Of course.
Call
What
them
if
and
they're
ask them.
watching this right now? They might have been. What's up?
Call them and ask them.
Nope, I'm good.
Text them.
Have you ever done it with a girl at her parents?
Yeah, and that was fucking risky too. Because there was one time where we almost got caught. We heard the garage door open, and we just like it was like the whole thing where you're throwing clothes on and trying to clear off the sweat, and wipe off the things.
Wait.
That was a really scary. That like if I had to think of like a scary moment, that was one of them where I was just like, holy shit, I'm getting my ass beat.
Yeah. Yeah. Never did it at my parents' house. Even later, as an adult visiting. Not that I visit very frequently.
Oh,
Well, when you were
I
adult-
run into that situation. That's weird. Yeah. Or like at like a family, when you take a family trip.
That's what I want to know
Still,
about.
no matter, that never gets normal.
That'd be a good stat to know at each person at the company. What was the oldest they were when they had sex at their parents' house?
I imagine like full-grown adults when they go home for holidays.
Yeah, but can't you just not do it for like a weekend?
So with that specific
If you're only there a
situation,
weekend, maybe. Yeah.
you take out your parents' SUV and you fold down the seats in the back and you find an empty neighborhood that's under construction. And then afterwards you get paper towels and you wipe down the sweaty windows. Speculation, didn't happen.
Blaine, you've had a lot of interesting experiences.
You're a grown man. Rent a car.
Oh yeah.
You're doing there, car.
rent-
That's disrespectful.
Rent a hotel.
Oh, yeah, rent a room. Get a room.
Here, let me read this thing. I want to remind everyone, this podcast is also brought to you by the Rooster Teeth store and its brand new Achieve collection. If you don't know about Rooster Teeth was founded by a few broke college kids who wanted to make movies but couldn't afford to, so they cut out the middleman and made their own. A few billion views later, they're still at it. Seriously, though, we're really excited about the new line from Achievement Hunter. I think it really represents the Achievement Hunter guys and their punk rock aesthetic.
No, it doesn't.
We got the t-shirts here. You got a couple right there. But they're also got long sleeve tees, a hoodie, and a hat. They just went up this weekend. They're selling like crazy. Go ahead and check them out at store.roosterteeth.com. Tell them Gus sent you. That's me. I'm Gus. Where's the other one? Blaine, you got to turn to the camera, dude.
Oh. I was looking at it.
It's a good bit.
He's holding it up and looking at it.
He's blocking his face with a giant black shirt.
It's good looking.
Anyway.
So I had the idea that we should get, in the gaps where there's no actual sponsorship, we should get someone from sales to come on and explain themselves.
I don't. Do you mind though? I mean,
No, I don't mind.
Doesn't make any difference to us, right?
But I'm fine with having no ad there, but someone dropped the ball, right?
Yeah, right.
It seems like it. I can't remember. It's been like a long time since we've had open inventory. What happened?
Are we losing popularity?
We're gonna have to update the who hates Gavin the most question after this one.
Well, now we're on Spotify, so even more people can listen. Hopefully,
That's good.
And there's no ads, so it's great. I want to talk to you about something that came up last week. You told me I did homework for the podcast.
Okay.
You told me to watch the Cloverfield Paradox.
Yes.
and I watched the Cloverfield Paradox. I can't remember what your opinion of Cloverfield Paradox was.
Okay with
My opinion was, it's okay. It's not a great movie, but I'm glad they're making it.
It's totally fine.
It's totally fine.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Everyone was so upset about this movie.
It's okay.
It's totally fine. Yeah, there are some pretty glaring plot holes.
Yeah.
But
it's fine.
yeah.
That's why I told you.
Totally
Just
fine.
watch it for yourself.
I don't get why people were so mad about that
Right.
movie.
It's
Are they
fine.
mad about the end? Are they mad about the middle?
I think they're like you said, there's some weird pacing and plot inconsistency things, but it's fine. It's just a B sci-fi film. Just
Yeah.
go watch it.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of cool concepts about it, and maybe they wanted more of a tie-in to the Cloverfield universe. But I like the open-endedness and the ambiguity.
really good cast too.
Had a great cast.
Cast was good.
What's up?
The guy who played Monk, I love. He's in Silver Linings Playbook. He plays the brother-in-law. You ever
Tony
seen that?
Shalhoub.
What's that?
What?
No, not that monk.
Have you ever seen Silver Linings Playbook?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater. I haven't seen it forever.
Remember the brother-in-law who's like talking about his job? He's like, and the pressure is just choking me, choking me. That guy, he's the guy who plays Monk in that. And it's one of those actors that it took me like 5 minutes. I know this guy.
Yeah.
I know him from somewhere. And Ashley was like that with the blonde lady. The blonde lady, you've seen it?
Yeah,
So the blonde lady was
the super tall.
yeah, she's the golden lady in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah.
The villain in Man from Uncle.
I haven't
She's
seen it.
Crazy cool in that.
She
yeah.
could have played Brienne of Tarth too.
No,
Although-
I don't think she's like swole enough. Like,
No hench.
Yeah.
what's her face is like, she would kick my ass.
She's a badass?
Yeah,
Total fucking
And she has a
badass.
nice butt. Remember that one
God.
episode where her butt? You remember?
No. What?
She was in the pool with Jamie, and then he says something offensive. She stands up and is like, "Butt."
Oh yeah.
And it's a good butt.
It was
Yeah.
like season 3 or something.
That's when she was taking him back south.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or season 2.
The big one I was surprised at in Cloverfield Paradox was that Chris O'Dowd. I was like, what's he doing in this film? And then it's like he does like the occasional like weird comedic relief. Like, oh, okay, yeah.
the guy from Batman?
the guy who was he
I
was
see
in
cred.
He's
Oh,
the-
from
he's
oh
like
that guy.
Irish.
Who
or
am I? I'm
something?
thinking of
Yeah,
Chris
Welsh.
O'Connell. Yeah, the guy from It Crowd.
Neil Patrick.
he was the cop in Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a weird casting. The cop from Bridesmaids. Did they ever address the fact that he was foreign? Can you be a
Yeah,
cop
they
in
did.
the United States?
I think they did ask him that, and he's like,
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure you can't be. I couldn't be a
I
cop.
think you
fine.
can. If you can work, why couldn't you?
You can be foreign born and serve in the military, so I'd assume you could be
Sure.
foreign born and serve in the
Foreign board.
foreign born.
Well, so like people were so fucking mad about this, or they either loved it or hated it. Why
fine.
is
I neither loved it nor hated it, but I thought it was
Yeah,
good.
I'm in the
fine.
same. It's okay. I didn't regret watching it. I'm
Right.
happy. I'm happy they made it, and I'm happy they're gonna make more.
Yes.
But like, not to bring up Star Wars because I don't want to stick on the conversation for too long. But like, that was the same thing. Whereas people were like, "I fucking hate this movie. This is the greatest Star Wars of all time." Like, why are people so? Am I the only one that can stray in the middle line and be like, "Yeah, it was
I think you
fine."
just hear the people who are on the extreme ends.
I guess
a
they're the
lot
most
louder
vocal.
than you hear the people who are like, yeah, it was okay. They're not out like going, yeah, it was all right. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
I heard the funny thing about Star Wars fans. Like, you can't be a Star Wars fan because you don't hate episodes 1 through 3, 7, 8, and Rogue One. It's like, that's only a true Star Wars fan would hate all those movies. You know, it's just
So only a
people,
true Star Wars fan hates most of the movies.
right hates all of the movies in
Did
the
you
franchise.
see that controversy in quotes about the Solo posters?
No.
Oh, with the Sony, the graphic design was the same on the
Yeah,
posters.
the graphic design was very similar to some other posters. What were they? Was
And
some music
they are
posters?
very similar.
It's very similar, but
I'm
it
curious.
didn't seem like a ripoff to me. It seemed like, I mean, they're very, very similar, but it seemed like the kind of thing that's generic enough that someone else could have come up with the same concept.
My problem with the posters is that they're all fucking like super colorful and looks like a really groovy movie. And then when you see the footage from the trailer, it's like really bleak. It's like the dude that he was a cinematographer for Arrival, and it's just like blue and sad and cold looking. So that was my issue. It looked like they're making a Guardians of the Galaxy meets Star Wars when really it looks something like else.
I don't like any of the older characters. Like watching, I didn't like Solo in episode 7. I didn't like Luke really in episode 8. Leia, I'm still kind of okay with.
Why didn't you like Solo?
I just didn't like him. I just thought, I don't know, just like I didn't respond to it the way I was hoping I would respond to it.
You didn't find it cool for him to be back in the Millennium Falcon?
But that was in the trailer. I got to see that. Unfortunately,
Is your issue that you see Harrison Ford and you say, "Hey, that's Harrison Ford, not Han Solo"?
that might be the case.
I think
that might
'cause
be
that kinda
that might
broke it
be a
for me a
part
little
of
bit.
it. Yeah, But I don't feel that way with Mark
Oh, there they
Hamill.
are.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
Those are fucking similar.
I mean, that's
I think because it's a sequence and they made the exact same sequence.
Yeah.
The fact that it's the exact same colors is the weird.
Yeah.
The red, blue, and I mean they're the exact shade. That's really fucking
Chewie's
weird.
slightly different.
The Chewy
but-
one's a little, yeah.
Yeah.
but even like the yellow poster around it, or the yellowed.
It's a cool style. I like those posters.
Yeah. There was what was that Spike Lee movie in the 90s? Clockers? And their poster was basically some murder mystery from the 50s, and it was like a body outline. They just like changed the head going the other way. That was literally all they did. And it was like super stylized. Poster. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah,
Poster.
Clockers. I see it here.
Poster ripoff. Something of a murder, Anatomy of a Murder, or something like that was the 50s movie.
I was talking to somebody today, and they said that they were taking issue with the Mary Poppins movie.
What?
The upcoming Mary Poppins movie.
Oh, they're
What?
making another one?
Yeah, it's got oh god, what's her name?
Is it a reboot or like a sequel? Or
Is
what?
it Emily Blunt that's in it? Anybody?
Emily Blunt?
think-
No shit. I'll go
Yeah.
see Emily Blunt, dude. I like
sing
Emily
well?
Blunt.
She's the best.
I think
no,
it's,
she's married to the
Jim Kazurinsky.
from Office.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with it?
What?
You asked if she was
Yeah.
married.
Tim
can
Kazurinsky
she
from
sing
the SNL
well?
in the 80s.
Sorry.
So what's his name? Krasinski? Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Man, he's directing a film coming up that looks fucking cool.
Quiet Place? Quiet. Is it Quiet Place?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He directed that?
Yeah, he wrote and directed it, and
He
acted
wrote
in it.
No shit.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I like
Dude,
that guy.
The second trailer for that movie is pretty fucking intense.
Yeah,
I think I've seen a trailer for that yet.
Quiet Place?
Yeah.
See the first trailer. Make sure you watch the first one. It's cool. You should go see it.
I like John Krasinski because he told what was what with Hillary's emails in Benghazi.
What?
What are you talking about?
He was in the Benghazi movie.
Got a friend named Ben Ghazi.
Well, I don't get this.
It's
How do you feel about Jordan Peele getting that Oscar?
I feel great about Jordan Peele getting it. I feel great, but I think I'm gonna catch a lot of shit for this. I think Cloverfield Paradox and Get Out fall in the same category for me. Everyone's going apeshit for Get Out. To me, it felt like an episode of Black Mirror that was a feature-length episode. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, it was such a crazy story," and like this, it like took all these twists and turns. I was like, "What twists and turns?" Like it just was pretty much like straight through.
Well, you kind of had that first twist where it's like, oh, something's up.
Yeah, but that's like immediately that's like the premise of the movie.
I think you're right. I think you're gonna get a lot of shit for that.
I am. I know.
I-
Listen,
I
people
love
think
it.
it was snubbed for.
When she drops him through the floor, it's like a
Whoa.
what?
I rewatched it on like
Oh,
this
the sunken
weekend before the
place?
Oscars, just to like refresh myself on it, and I loved it. I still like even on a repeat view, and I thought it was.
Yeah,
it was
I watched it
fucking
again on a
phenomenal.
plane recently. I like it.
I realize I'm in the minority on this. Everybody really loves Get Out. I should probably go back and watch it again. And
I would recommend it.
There's
I
a,
also
there-
went in after I was pretty well hyped at that point.
When I rewatched
It's
it,
an amazing movie that no one's ever seen before.
when I rewatched it, I also picked up on a lot more that I didn't pick up the first time or the first go through.
Somebody said that to me about Episode 8 of Star Wars. That if you go back and you watch it, it makes
Why
a
cut
lot
to
more
me?
sense.
Why are you cutting to me?
Yeah,
we saw Annihilation, and you said that'd be good to watch again.
I think it would be.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll do that. When it's
I'll watch it on a
it's on
plane.
Netflix in a week and a half or whatever. So
Hey, speaking of things that people don't like, I had a really popular tweet over the weekend about guns and gun control.
Go on.
I think that, and Eddie Rivas said something to me when I was talking about this that I think he made a really good point. I wrote that I've been using firearms for years, and I understand them, but I think it's time for some gun control. And Eddie said that he thinks it's time to use a different term other than gun control.
I agree with that.
I was like, I never thought about it that way because I think people have a knee-jerk reaction to it, and they think gun control means taking everyone's guns away, with no question. And whereas, I'm open to let's meet in the middle, right? Like it goes back to what you're talking about Star Wars and the extremes. You're only hearing from people who are either fiercely pro having whatever you want or people who want to outlaw it altogether. It's like, why? There's got to be way more people in the middle, just like with Star Wars. Probably 95% of people sit in the middle. Why can't those 95% of people sit down and figure this stuff out? Why do we let these
Extreme.
really loud, extreme, small groups of people dictate, what we can and can't do in this country? It's absolutely ridiculous. And then last week tonight, John Oliver had this really long piece. The focus of the episode last night was about NRA TV. And you know how there's that whole thing about boycott Amazon, Apple, and Roku because they carry NRA TV on their streaming platform. And it was really, I'd never watched NRA TV, and they showed some of the type of programming that's on there, and it's really crazy. And they don't release like numbers. They don't have to, right? It's not broadcast. You have no idea how many people are watching that, but it's really unique program. It's got a very fear-mongering aura to a lot of it, and a very fear-mongering, I guess they're just playing to their base. They're playing to that extreme, trying to drum up this fear that you need all these weapons, or that the world is evil and only you can stop them with firearms.
Yeah.
Like that's not the case.
See the crazy photos from last week of the people who were
Church
having the religious ceremony with guns?
Was it the Moonies? I read somewhere someone said it was the Moonies that were doing that.
Moonies?
And as far as like the Moonies are still around?
The Moonies are Hare Krishna,
it's
right?
his son. It's the dude that started that church. It's his son, I believe.
I'm looking up.
Moonies.
I always find it
it's members of the
interesting.
Unification Church.
But who's the
Sun Myung Moon,
Yeah.
was first used in 1974 by the American media. Church members have used the word Mooney, including Moon himself, President of Unification.
To catch our listeners up, there was a big news thing. I'm sure everybody saw it, where it was a bunch of people were like having some sort of weird, like, service where they brought their AR-15s specifically.
And crowns.
Yeah, and they had like bullet crowns and shit like that, and they're doing some. It was a renewal of your wedding rights, wasn't it, or some shit like that?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I saw these photos. It's just like, I don't know. It's just it is
tone
the
deaf.
extremes. It's like hard to believe that some of my friends on the right are like in that group with those people. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. It's like we don't realize there's so many more people that are in the middle.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point I tried to make by saying, in my tweet, I was like, I've owned guns for many years. I consider myself a responsible gun owner. Like, there's enough of us in the middle. We can make a change ourselves if we don't
would you
kowtow
say
to these extreme ends.
Is the majority in the middle?
I think so. I think so. What the NRA says, they have 5 million members, which is a difficult number to back up. But there's 300 million people in the U.S.
Yeah,
But playing to the middle just seems very weak. It seems like you have no position.
because you're just on the fence.
Yeah, it's just like
I was reading about what it takes to get a gun in Japan, and it was fascinating, the procedure to go through it. I think you have to take a written exam about the gun, then you do a shooting test, and you have to score above 90%. Then you go through like a criminal background check, and then you go through a mental health check. So there's all these stages to it, and at that point, you can buy a shotgun or an air rifle. So all of that just to get to the point where you can get a shotgun basically for hunting.
And then in Australia, I think they have like a similar thing where it's a pretty strenuous process, and you have to like explain why you need this weapon, and then you have to put it in like a locker, and then they examine and they check in on that locker or whatever, like
And
every
then
2 years.
Conversely, there was I think it was a British journalist. He was just trying to prove a point. He flew to America. He flew into Kansas or something to see how quickly he could get a gun as a tourist, as a non-citizen. And I think from when he landed to having the gun in his hand was like 45 minutes.
Nah.
And then I think the guy who sold him the gun was arrested, and then the journalist was told not to come back to the US for 3 years.
wow, holy cow.
Yeah.
That would suck. A journalist comes here and gets a dude arrested. I mean, he should have done his job correctly, but still, it's just like, the guy wants a story, and this dude's going to fucking jail because he made a mistake, or I don't know if he did it deliberately or not. But yeah, and then you go to a country like Switzerland, which you normally associate as being pretty pacifist, and our friend Stefan had to go through a lengthy procedure to not be required to keep a rifle in his house. He had to go through and prove that he was
I think when
a pacifist.
Right, they had like mandatory military service,
Right.
and then when you're done with your military service, they give you a rifle to take home in case they need to call you up as like a militia.
It's Switzerland.
And then he said it was a really long process to go through to fill out paperwork, say he was a pacifist, to be able to return the firearm to the government.
And I think there are rules when you have that gun at home, you still had to keep it locked away with the ammo somewhere else locked away. So it was a whole. It
Well,
wasn't
the way he describes it, it almost looks like one of those parade rifles. Like it's not. It's almost like the modern equivalent of a musket. It's not something he said like you would go into a liquor store with and rob. It would just be ridiculous if you tried to do that.
I've got a buddy who owns some guns and stuff like that, and he's actually, I think, like probably left-leaning or whatever. I don't know what his political beliefs are, but he invites me out to go shooting, and then I'm always kind of like on the fence about it. I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm always preaching about like I'm not a big fan of guns, but he's offering to do it, and he's like a cool dude. What
You should go. I think you should learn. I think that's one of the big.
I've been before, but it was
things.
before like shit kept happening every fucking month. So
I think you should go and you should learn
yeah.
just to see like what the differences are, what the different
Does that make me a hypocrite?
weapons are. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I know. I don't think so. I mean, I own guns. You know, he owns guns. I was thinking a bit like this. I consider myself to be more left-leaning.
Mm-hmm.
That's just I was raised that way, and I work in creative field, and it's just I tend to lean more left on a lot of issues. So the left tends to focus more on the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech, freedom of religion, but mostly freedom of speech. I mean, freedom of speech is always brought up in the U.S. to fight things like censorship. And so I'm a huge proponent of the First Amendment, that people should be able to say what they want, you know, and voice their opinion in whatever they want.
But hate speech is included in that.
It is. And that to me, it's like that's kind of what you have to deal with. You have to deal with hate speech if you're going to give everybody an even voice. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I do recognize that when the Founding Fathers were creating freedom of speech, they couldn't envision the internet and global networks of computers that can just create stories and put them out there. And that the machine language and machine learning can create these stories that nobody can tell the difference of what's real and what's not. So but if you boil that down, that's some person running those computers that has freedom of speech that they've like amplified. I mean, even if you want to take a simple example like spam email, I don't think a guy should be able to send out 800 million emails for no money at all, for like 10 cents. I just think that's a burden on everybody. So in some cases, in this case in particular, I would support limiting free speech in that way to take care of some of these things that, the Founding Fathers couldn't have seen. What I always come back to, though, Gavin, we won't belabor this point too much, hopefully, but I come back to what you're talking about with Japan and what you have to go through to get it. I always come back to in the U.S., I come back always to hand grenades. Everybody knows what a hand grenade is. I feel like I've never used a hand grenade. Have you used one, Blaine? I feel like I could use, and most American average citizens could use a hand grenade with no training whatsoever and probably use it fairly effectively.
Pull the pin out and lob it, right?
Well, there's a safety clip. I looked it up. There's a safety clip, and then you pull it out. But I'm pretty sure you can figure out that safety clip.
But the pin, all it's doing is holding the little handle down, right?
Right.
And when
now
it flings over, that's the fuses.
Right.
But that's when you throw it. Yeah. And then the handle pops off.
Flings off.
The lever pops off. And it's we never hear about hand grenade attacks. We just don't hear about them. Like even in schools, you don't hear about somebody lobbing hand grenades into buildings.
You might hear about improvised, like homemade explosives, though.
Homemade explosives, like they have to go out and build them. But the reason why they have to do that is hand grenades are not available for purchase. You have to have a Class 3 firearms license and a special certification in order to buy hand grenades. And I can't help but think that, hey, where's the black market for hand grenades? Where's all the outlaws with hand grenades? Everybody knows what these are. They're very effective. You never hear about a guy walking into a liquor store with a hand grenade because he got it on this very easily accessible black market where only outlaws now have hand grenades. And I can't help but think also, if hand grenades were made completely legal like shotguns and AR-15s tomorrow and they sold them at sporting goods stores and Walmart, do you think you would hear about less hand grenade tax because everyone has hand grenades, which would deter people from having hand grenades? Or do you think we'd have a sudden amazing spike in hand grenade tax?
I think the counter argument, I'll take up an opposing point with you here, just for the sake of argument.
Yeah.
I think the counter argument is you don't hear about that because guns are readily accessible enough. That there's no need to resort to using a hand grenade when you can use a gun just as effectively for the same ends.
But a gun has such a wider range of what you can, like, so whenever...
But you do hear about people making bombs because you wouldn't hear about that because they just go out and buy the things. But buying what you need to make a bomb is a step in which you can be discovered and stopped.
True.
Whereas if you can buy a 6-pack of hand grenades with, a 15-minute background check or whatever, it's normal and they're fucking everywhere, So you don't need to make a pipe bomb or a fertilizer bomb or something.
Whenever a mass shooting happens and people are like, oh, just get rid of guns, you won't get mass shootings. The next argument is, well, then someone will just use something else. Like they point to Europe where it's always like a van will plow through a crowd of people.
Yeah.
But there's a limit to what you could do with a van. I mean, you can't, that's it for a van. You can't have a standoff. You can't hold someone at van point. There's no like, you can't keep people there with a van. It's like, a gun is so much more than any other weapon just from how quickly you can turn a situation around with one.
Yeah.
Even a knife. You can if you got a room full of people with a knife, you're not going to be able to kill everyone with a knife.
I agree with that. It's like, I think when you say like you want to approach this, intelligently and you want to try to decrease easy access to firearms, you're not saying you're going to stop every potential crazy person from committing
every crime or every
all
murder.
these crimes and all these acts. You're just trying to make it harder and reduce the number.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Make it less convenient.
right. It's like I think that's a sensible way to look at it.
And I think a lot of people feel it's an endorsement of it that we allow, since people can have these devices, that can kill a large number of people, that it seems like an endorsement if we continue to allow these to be legal. It's like this feeling that we don't care that lots of people are being killed by it.
It's a hard one to talk about, especially for me as a foreigner, just because I wasn't raised with the same mindset as Americans. But now, like living here for so long, I see it. I can see why Americans don't ever want to give up the guns. Because everyone's raised with it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like me being raised without the Queen.
Some people came after me actually with my tweet because I said that I fired my first firearm when I was 5, and I got my first one as a gift for my 9th birthday. And people were like, "Well, there's the problem. Why the fuck are you giving a weapon that can kill to a 9-year-old?"
It's a part of society.
Right? It's like, well, my father was in law enforcement. Like, there's a lot more. I can't explain it all in a tweet. It's like there was a reason. Like I said, my father was in law enforcement. There were already guns in the house.
Yeah.
They wanted me to not be curious about them and try to play with them in secret without them knowing.
And your situation, to most Europeans, probably sounds like, man, that's a crazy
Right.
childhood.
It was mainly Europeans who came after me.
As an American, totally normal experience.
Right. And
I bought my kids a BB gun when they were really young. Man, I didn't think anything about that. When you were growing up, did kids have pellet guns and BB guns?
We have BB guns.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's just a normal progression of that. It's
The American
you
mindset
got shooting
is
with a friend. It's fun.
You want to protect your family, right? That's like the reason people have them. You want to protect your family or potentially fight the government if they turn.
Right. I mean, that's the
argument.
spirit of the Second Amendment, which is crazy now because one of the arguments that we're making, it's just like, it just goes to show it's like we're losing sight of everything. One of the arguments that keeps being made now is, hey, we should arm teachers, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I read a great tweet about that, which is like, we should absolutely give every teacher a gun. That way they can sell it and make up for the pay that we're not giving them. But arming teachers and then also, or having law enforcement of some kind or station people who are armed in schools. It's like, literally, we're going to use the Second Amendment to justify arming government officials and employees and putting them in our schools and our communities. That's literally the opposite of what the Second Amendment is all
That's a
about.
good point.
It's literally the opposite. But now it's like, it's not about that anymore. Now it's just about, don't take my guns.
Also,
That's the easier soundbite.
How's that going to help? Like at the most recent shooting, the one in Florida, it's not even the most recent shooting, the most recent big shooting in Florida, there was a deputy with a gun there.
I don't like talking about that guy. I don't like, man.
Right? It's like that's the counter argument is the good guy with a gun is going to stop it. It didn't happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, that guy was apparently, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but everything I read where he was there with a gun, like he was at the school, here's the shots, and he didn't go into the building for something like 4 minutes or something like that. Yeah, he wouldn't go in.
Call him back up or something?
Yeah, and then immediately, from what I understand, resigned.
Yes.
Like, right afterwards. Like, it was like, I resign, I'm out. It's like, it's just, it's terrible situation.
As someone with kids, would you feel safe sending them to a school where the teacher had a gun?
Oh, gosh, man.
Any question?
I mean, I know, I guess not, but then I also live under the illusion, it's probably an illusion, that no one in that school has a fucking gun. Which we're in Texas. There's probably like a bunch of the seniors have guns in the cars in the parking lot.
Even though there's signs all over the school?
I think
like every school has a no gun sign, right?
That means, yeah, well, I mean, sure.
Well, my parents are both teachers, and I don't want to drag them in because I don't want to speak for them because we have different views and stuff. But I do know that as teachers, they couldn't bring themselves to shoot a fucking student, man.
That'd be
They
tough.
devoted their lives to teaching these kids, and it'd be
My parents are
really
teachers
hard.
too. Now you say that, yeah, it'd be hard to imagine my parents.
I mean, they want to
storm in the
save
hallways.
kids, but yeah, it's weird. It's a really
People
sticky
snap
situation.
though. It's high stress situations.
Like
Yeah,
that
it
one
is.
dude that actually barricaded himself in. I heard it like, I don't know. That sounded like a weird situation as well. The teacher yeah, never mind.
Anyway,
Yeah.
long story short, there's plenty of us in the middle. We should be able to figure this out. I think a large part of it is just education, Blaine, learning about guns,
Oh,
and becoming more comfortable with them. That way we can talk and everyone can be on the same page, and we don't have these misunderstandings about what it is that we're talking about.
well, it's Alex Leonard. He's the guy with the guns, and he's a former military.
You should
so-
absolutely go with him.
Yeah, I also really love Alex. He's a very delightful person.
Yeah,
We have a bunch of people at the company that look like Rainbow Six operators. Alex Leonard looks like Blackbeard. Aaron Wynn looks like Ella. And then I'm naming off people that nobody knows. And then
Who do you look like?
Issa looks like Dogaby, like spot on like Dogaby. Who do I look like?
I don't know who Dogaby is.
Dogaby's the new South Korean operator.
Oh, she's new.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's got glasses. Like when they launched, they're like announcing all the operators. It was like, holy shit. That looks just like
But I feel compelled to point out an update from Twitter. At SwissMom8873 says, Switzerland no longer requires their soldiers to keep the gun at home. It is voluntary now. I am Swiss and my brother-in-law still lives there. Thank you.
Oh, great.
cool.
Thank you for the
Thank you,
update.
Swiss
I
Mom.
did not know that. And then, to be fair, that story with Stefan was probably 10 years old at this point. So
Longer than 12
Maybe.
or 13, yeah.
So since she's
So
a
fucking
Swiss
old.
mom, you could probably assume she's not a Swiss miss.
Your face.
That joke definitely Swiss miss.
Switch miss.
So I'm the age that you were when you started the Red versus Blue.
Yeah,
the
man.
Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
29?
Yep.
I mean, it was 2003. I started working. It crossed over my birthday, so I started working on it in 2002 in September. I started working on the trailer and like concepting it out. But then we started April
Back when the
1st.
guns were still up.
Yeah, April 1st, 2003, and I was 30 then.
I was 13.
So I say 29, but I was 30 when Rooster Teeth started.
I was going through, I think I mentioned this on our previous podcast, where I was going through a bunch of old photos and I handed them over to the documentary crew. And I had a lot of photos from like early on, like the spare bedroom, the butte office and stuff. And there's just a point where I didn't have them anymore. And the doc crew came back to me and said, hey, we're really missing photos from this time frame. Do you have anything? I was like, why don't I have any photos from there? And I realized that that's the time I got an iPhone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, all my photos are on my phone in my iCloud now. And I looked and I was like, oh, I do have photos from there.
Oh,
I just
shit.
I just never think to scroll back that far.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's plenty of photos. So it's like, I got them like another 5.5 gigs of photos and videos.
It's weird that because there was a shift from where people stopped carrying cameras as much and then they switched to phones, but the phone cameras were so shit back then that it's like photos are really good quality and then they just go, they take a dive.
Yeah,
That happened with digital cameras too in the late 90s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
film cameras, and then digital cameras came out, but they were like a half a megapixel.
Yeah.
So all the pictures for like four years looked like shit.
Yeah,
and then they
it's
got
the same with,
better.
like,
Then they got shitty
the
again.
stuff on Netflix, like you can watch an episode of The Twilight Zone. It looks phenomenal. It's black and white.
Right.
It looks phenomenally crisp though because they just rescanned all the film. But then whenever they switch to video, it's like this shit's cheap.
Yeah.
It's you can't remaster that.
Nope.
It's awful.
I had to like delete
muddy.
so many old photos before I sent them to the doc crew because I was like, oh, that's blurry. That's blurry. That's
You're
blurry.
just embarrassed?
That's blurry. So it's like they're all terrible. It's like in low light, the early phone cameras couldn't do anything with unless you had a huge light.
Are you concerned that there's going to be a huge chunk of your life that's missing because you don't have like the physical media to show it? Like you may have lost an iPhone's worth of photos, which is like a year and a half. You know?
Yeah, I lost 2008.
Really?
Yeah,
That sucks. All those
2007. I had a
selfies-
Sony like K something else.
So many selfies with Barbara.
I'm not the least bit worried about that because I have, when my parents died, I got our family photo albums. And so basically from the time I was born till about 13 or 14, maybe even later, like all the way through high school, there's like 4 or 5 books that have about 50 photos each in them, and that's it. Like that's it. Now I've got tens of thousands of photos and videos of my kids in the last 15 years. It's like I could lose.
I have more pictures of my cat than I have of myself between the ages of like 0 and 15.
Do you still have that wall of like all of your family members and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Like you
I
still
have all my friends. I have my photo wall. I didn't put that in the final vlog, but it's there. Yeah, I moved it. It's like right outside my bedroom. It's in my little writing nook that I have.
That's cool.
Do you ever jerk off to it?
What, the photo wall? What's wrong with you?
If you had to, okay, $1 million, but every day you have to stare at a different picture and jerk off every morning.
I do that already. What do you mean?
I think he means on your photo
On the
wall.
wall.
Yeah.
Oh, my photo wall.
Yeah, you have to like start at the top
For
left.
$1 million? Okay, what do I care?
But could you actually work up a good
Chub.
go off some of those photos?
I got $1 million. Absolutely, I
You're gonna
can.
have to jerk off to Blaine. That means.
I'm on your wall?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, he is somewhere.
Seattle's got the gum wall. He's gonna have the cum wall.
Yeah, there we go. I got $1 million
Nice.
though. I got $1 million.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
would,
that's
who
a
would do that
Swiss
for $1
hit.
million?
I would do it for $5,400 a month.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Does anybody have a this is a weird question.
Come on.
No. Does anybody have an
Andy does.
ex-girlfriend box? A
What do-
box in which you store things from past relationships.
I got
no.
that. I got that for the IRS. I could show you. I have W-2s going back to like 97.
I think they can only they can only request like 7 years ago.
I think I'm about to like just start shredding some of it. I keep records on everything. I just keep them for fucking ever.
Yeah.
I have filing cabinets. I don't know anybody else who has filing cabinets at their house.
Why don't you just PDF it all?
because that's an effort. So Gus was talking about the doc that we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a person who had those cameras, and I can remember there was a Sanyo camera I got. That was my first camera that recorded to digital media. Everything was tapes before that, like the Sony VX1000, that classic mini DV camera. But then I had a format that only Sony had, of course.
Oh,
and it's a format called Micro MV, and it's this tiny little tape, tiny. And it was this little handheld thing, and it was fucking amazing and state of the art. But the camera stopped working years ago. This is like 2004 I had this thing. So I went on eBay, and I found one new in the box for $300. And I was like, oh, shit, I'll buy this, and I'll have access to all these tapes that I can't view any other way. Got it on eBay, $300. I get it in, I charge it.
That looks
That's
like
mini
that's
DV.
mini DV.
That's mini DV. Yeah, that's mini DV. Tell by the case. But I got this mini MV player in, and then I remember how it worked. Like you hit the button, the thing goes kunk, opens, and then goes and opens up, and then you put the tape in that, and it goes and lowers down, and it has a stupid label on it, like "Don't push this." Of course, this camera, by the time I get it out of the box, is 15 years old. It literally goes bump, opens up, and then it goes and like died instantaneously. So I was like, yeah, there's no way. It's just like it's been in a box for 15 years. The gears are just like there's these tiny little gears that are all just like now fused
Yeah,
together.
you just have to remove all that shit
Yeah,
and then
just
just put your
3D
tape in manually.
3D print a new gear.
Or they have like DIT stations that you like VCRs for those things, right?
Now this format's so specific. I did find a place online where I could just ship my micro MV tapes, and they'll ship it back to me.
You don't
yeah,
do that.
I'm not going to do that.
Hey, you're shipping the originals, and also there could be anything on there.
I know, right? It's like, yeah.
I ran into Matt because he's the one that was running it. Matt Hames is one of the dudes that works on our documentaries and stuff. And when we were doing the documentary with me and Barbara doing Connected, I found out that the lady that was doing DIT, which is the person that
Digital image technician?
yeah, they like digest all of the
Intermediate.
video and audio, and then they organize it for the editors and stuff. It was a girl that I had actually seen during college. Like it was like somebody I dated. And after finding that out, they gave us handy cams that we would record ourselves with. And I set down the camera and I ate pizza for an hour, knowing that she was going to have to watch the entire thing.
Why?
What's wrong with you?
What, it's like an FU to her? Why?
Because it didn't end well in college.
Man. So I'm curious now,
Yeah,
what
you're
kinds
right
of things
about-
are in your ex-girlfriend box?
Digital imaging technician. That's what it is.
Digital imaging technician. No, it's just like it's
I did
old,
that.
like old. You know those photo booth photos. You don't want to throw those away
Yeah.
because they're memories. But I got like a fuck ton of those, and then there's just like
Hair.
little knickknacks. You know, like not hair. Fuck. Like photo books. I had a couple of girlfriends make me old like photo books, like that kind of stuff. Just like pictures. And
Do you have a mixtape?
Yeah, I do. I have like 3 mixtapes in there from an old girlfriend.
Nice.
So yeah.
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything either.
I don't have anything.
No. You just do you throw that away, or do you just never have anything
didn't
from
really
your
have it.
relationships?
Never had a relationship this long.
You surely have had a photo booth photo with an ex-girlfriend. What happened to it?
Well, you know what Gavin has, which I'm surprised you know, is Gavin just has that on Facebook. Like, did you delete photos of you with your exes on Facebook?
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a normal thing now. Like, I can go to Ashley's Facebook page and go back and see like horrible boyfriends and
That's
stuff.
so bad, and I wish that there was like some sort of backup for that because I purged all my fat photos. So like I remember going through when I was losing weight, and I was
Yeah,
like,
if only
I'm
there
so
was a way to
ashamed of
back up
these.
pictures, Gus.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
shit.
When are we going to figure
Well,
that
no,
out?
I'm saying like there's like an emotional thing.
If only they
connected
hadn't
to
stopped
it.
making apps, Gus, they
damn it.
could have that.
The great
photo
app
backup
decline of
app.
2018.
The app crashed.
It was
Where
a
were you when
moment
it happened?
of passion that I deleted all these photos, and now I was like, well, fuck, my mind is completely changed about that subject. I wish I hadn't deleted all those things.
Well,
Why'd you delete them? I'll just shove them on a drive. And
You didn't take them with your computer on Facebook. They exist in another format. You uploaded these things.
yeah, they deleted them off my social because I was embarrassed by them.
Yeah, but where are the originals?
Where are the originals?
deleted because I was so embarrassed.
So you
by
deleted them twice.
Twice.
Yes.
That's on you, dude. That point.
It's unfortunate.
Here's your solution. Get fat again.
Okay.
Take some photos.
Okay.
And get the problem solved.
Just set up a camera, eat pizza for like a week.
If I told you to gain 20 pounds, what do you want to say what you weigh? Is that a weird thing with you?
No. It's I think I'm player 170, 175.
Are you really? Wow. So if I told you you need to weigh 200 pounds,
Okay.
could you do that? Like, are you keeping yourself in check all the time?
Well, I would go at that I would do mass exercises, but I'd also like eat like shit. Like I would do like a combination. That way, once it's done, then I could have been like, yeah, I was bulking, and then I come back jacked
I just want to throw this out.
more than ever.
I'm the same weight as Blaine.
Oh, you are? You should
175.
stand side by side.
It's like I'm a perfect human specimen right here.
Did you hear about the guy who's
Look at that. He called you a perfect human specimen.
Oh, thanks.
See, that was such a nice compliment.
Nice.
You didn't even
Appreciate
acknowledge
you.
it.
It's the guy who eats Big Macs every day?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
about to hit his like 30,000th Big Mac or something.
How much is that? How much are Big Macs?
How much money?
$3?
$3.99.
No, they're more than that.
How many? How many?
I don't think so.
30,000?
450, aren't they? How much is a Big Mac?
I'm looking it up.
Well, with tax.
How many Big Macs did he? How many did he eat?
Don't do the with tax bullshit. What's it on the
What do
menu?
you mean? Why isn't tax in the price?
What's
why
it
is
on the menu?
nowhere in the price with the tax on it?
No, it's tax deductible. It's his job.
Because it's different in different states, and
Yeah,
it's not a fair conversation.
Yeah, but
Yeah. What? Go ahead.
just print a bunch of Texas prices and put them in every
But
Texas
it's
Big Mac.
potentially also different by county.
Oh Christ!
But he.
You know what? You know what price I pay when I buy a Big Mac in England? The price that
Listen,
it says on the
dude,
board.
listen,
because tax is
dude.
included in the price.
I agree with you, but that's not going to change the fact that the system's broken right now.
yeah, but
Look, I never know how much I'm spending.
it's not. Our system is superior.
If it's like it's going to be like $29 and I've got 3 10s, I know I can't afford it.
Yeah, there
I
you
know
go.
it's going to go over.
Now you know.
What's the price? Is the point in the prices on stuff?
I agree with you. Hey, look up what county he lives in, and you can find
I'm
out
not
what the
fucking
tax.
doing all this shit.
You can find out how much the tax is depending on what state he lives in.
Big Macs must cost different in different places because it's not on their website.
Well, how much is it in Texas?
It's got to be easy to
It's got to be more than 4. How much do you say? it was?
I
Look it up-
would,
look
I
it
would
up
bet
on-
$3.
$3?
Are you talking about just the?
Just a sandwich.
Okay.
And he
yeah,
ate
probably
how
three.
many?
I'm guessing.
How many did he eat?
I think he's over like 28,000 or something. He's gonna.
The price of a Big Mac was $3.57 in the United States.
That
I said
much.
$3.99. You
Yeah.
called me an asshole. By the way, $3.57, not a price.
What's that with tax?
Oh,
I think that's probably with tax.
Is that?
That might be with tax, yeah.
Because it's 357.
no, why would they calculate tax? They can't calculate tax.
Why would they say $3.57?
Wait, it
Price
was
of a Big Mac was £2.29 in the United Kingdom.
£2.29.
According to fastfoodmenuprices.com, a Big Mac is $3.99. That's for a meal.
What is the most?
A meal with the fries and the
This
Coke?
can't be right.
It's a steal.
I thought I
Go
could
get
have
a Big
sworn.
Mac.
it's more than that.
Anyway, he bought every Big Mac. McDonald's doesn't give him anything special, but he apparently buys the whole week's worth of Big Macs up front and just microwaves them each night,
Whoa.
which
That's-
sounds gross.
Yeah, because he's got vegetables in there that are
He's
supposed
all
to
He's
be
not.
crisp.
He's not overly fat apparently.
There's a guy in Super Size Me that they talk about who like ate a Big Mac every day.
I think it
Same
might
kinda
be that
deal.
dude.
Might be the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's no dollar loaf of bread or anything.
Do you know about
dollar loaf of bread is a fucking steal. Like you guys made fun of me for that.
dollar loaf of bread?
A loaf of bread, a French bread for $1 at H-E-B.
Where do you get it for $1? Really?
At
Talking like a
H-E-B.
baguette,
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
like
like a
a
loaf.
thick,
French
Like
loaf,
Like a fat.
like a bloomer.
several
Fat baguette.
sandwiches worth. $1.
Yeah, that's tough because then you get in that center and you start pulling out like that's all pure gluten.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, so good.
Kind of want soup right now.
I made Japanese pancakes for the kids. I was going to try to make them for the pancake podcast, but we had the robot, so we went with that. I don't know. Can't do those Japanese pancakes. I'm not good at it. Kids liked them, but I just couldn't get them like.
Maybe
Wiggly
one more
enough.
trip to Japan just to get the ins and outs, and then we'll come back.
I would love if JD would go live in Japan. That sounds like get the fuck out of here, kid. But I really think he had such a good time in Japan. I think he really likes the culture there. You should have lived in Japan.
I thought, yeah, I could do that. I think I could do that.
Oh, you'd love it. It's all orderly and yeah.
The problem is I'm big. I stand out.
People are taking pictures of you?
Well, no, I'm the wrong size for everything. Like shower heads are too low, and like it's weird being too
Build
big.
your own house.
Even when you're in public, like doors are a little weird, and like everything's just a little too small.
I'm gonna ask your opinion on something, and you as well, Gavin. I already asked Gus.
Just ask the question, Blaine.
It's gonna set it up, but okay.
I never answered your personal question
Yeah, you did.
about the expiration date.
No, yeah, you
I
got
answered
a
it.
really full. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a nice answer. I am traveling to Japan, and then I have some travel afterwards. One of my options to come back is through Moscow. Do you think I should take that?
Hell
flight?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to put a pin in
what
Russia.
is this for? What?
I'm gonna be in Japan for vacation. Then like I gotta go to some other stuff, and one of the possible routes to get back is through Moscow.
And it doesn't change the price?
It's actually cheaper. Like
Fucking A, go to Moscow.
That's what I told him.
no, I'm going to. But
Are you worried
I didn't know
about
if-
the safety of that?
Well, I mean,
You're
this
in the
is going to
airport.
be. I'm doing this in like August. By then, we might be at war or something. So, do you think that I
Getting
should?
a little weird.
Yeah, like tensions are getting
Blaine,
high. Do you think that's a good idea?
If they go to war, just get a refund.
Dude,
You
here's
could
what I
probably
wanna
get a
know.
war refund.
Yeah.
The USSR fucking collapsed. Like had a full-on economic collapse. in the late 80s, right? They
89 or 90? Yeah.
Yeah, they broke apart.
So
Now there's
Atomic
all
Blonde's
these separate
about, right?
countries. Russia was the big one, obviously, is now separate. The whole thing, and it was for years, we talked about just like the crazy local. How the fuck did they build such an incredible cyber crimes division that apparently is way better than what we have?
It's cheap. You just need to buy computers. You doesn't even need to be a powerful
So
computer.
we should have that.
We should have that.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think here, if you do that kind of stuff, you do like private sector. The government doesn't actively like. If you're good at that, you don't work for the government.
Everybody's playing
think-
PUBG.
Right.
Do you think there's a government building somewhere just mining Bitcoin?
Like U.S. government
Probably.
or
Like, do they have a room in the Pentagon that's just churning out Bitcoins?
There was something where there was an app that you installed, and the developer just added in a Bitcoin mining
Some
routine.
websites were doing that
Was that
Where
what
you
it
like
was?
cloud mine from your phone?
from your.
But they
web
weren't telling
browser.
you. It was for their benefit, not for yours.
So you were just spending your processing power or GPU power
yeah, and electricity.
unknowingly.
Yeah,
That must
Yep.
have drained the battery on devices.
yeah. Apparently, I mean, there's a lot of theories about the sustainability of Bitcoin just based on the power consumption of it.
Well, Trevor and Michael were bitching about the price of 1080 Ti right now. It's like inflated by like $700.
yeah.
What?
Graphics card.
The
Yeah, the graphics
are
cards
like,
are like crazy expensive
you
right now.
can't
because of
buy
that.
them anymore. And
Like
if
a
you do, it's
$900
online.
card is like $1,600 or something.
Really?
Yeah,
'Cause everybody's buying 'em.
Because all the Bitcoin miners buy them.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, there's like a huge problem right now.
Yeah, I think Nvidia has been trying to encourage retailers to stop selling products
Multiple.
to people who are mining and to try to
How can
target
they
people.
tell though?
I guess if you're buying a bunch, or if you're like trying to buy like a pallet of
Oh.
video cards.
It's like that meth thing with pseudoephedrine that they make the meth out of. It's the same thing. You'll have to have a license now to buy a video card. That's crazy. I didn't know that. So they just use the GPU.
What they should do is now to buy a graphics card, you take a written exam, and then you score above a certain amount in a video game.
You got to keep your computer locked in one box, your video card locked in another one.
Oh, but then only the outlaws will have ultra high quality
Well,
settings.
Only the Outlaws will be running 2160p. We'll be stuck at 1440. Bunch of chumps.
What's your resolution that you run right now?
4K,
What is that?
Like my New Year's
2160?
resolution.
What's that?
2160.
So I run 3440 by 1440. So
Okay.
the wide aspect ratio, which I don't really
30
care
what?
about the resolution, but I got the super wide. So like PUBG is like I got like a
You can see the cheaters coming from all directions.
dude.
I saw it was Naomi Kyle had this crazy Samsung monitor.
There's
Have you seen
even
that thing?
wider ones now.
It's like it wraps around her head.
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration, but it's a wicked wide monitor. I don't know the resolution of it.
Yeah, there's these new super, like someone was telling me, I think it was Hex who was on the podcast a few weeks ago. Her and Peter were in town and they were talking about, they saw our monitors and go, you should get those really wide ones. I go, these are the really wide ones. I go, no, there's ones that are now like crazy wide. I was like, oh my gosh. We couldn't get that though.
Get two of them.
And just wrap all the way around.
Wrap, yeah.
That's
Big, like a big circle.
Minority
Just like
Report.
looking 360 degrees.
I played Don't Starve with the kids this weekend.
Mhm.
It had a setting that I've never seen in the options of a video game ever. It had a setting for if you play the game on two monitors, little checkbox.
How would what advantage would
I guess it will
What?
just spread the game out over two monitors.
But like,
then.
where's your
Okay.
crosshair if it's not in the middle?
you never played Don't
it's-
Starve?
it's not
have
like-
you?
Well, no, he's right. This character stays kind of.
How do you shoot the bad guys?
Well, the character does stay in the center.
So what does it do? Just like moves the HUD into convenient places?
Now I want to hook up a second monitor and find out. I don't know. I don't know.
You should.
Yeah, I'm
Or
sure I
if
could
it
look
keeps
up a
like your
YouTube video.
inventory and like other stuff.
Yeah, there's
On that
Naomi
monitor.
Kyle and her flipping amazing monitor.
That's pretty cool.
You would need that desk. That's like the only desk that you can have.
What is that? Overwatch?
What's she playing?
Looks like over.
Was it
Yeah.
I
Doom?
think it's Overwatch.
I was Overwatch?
I wouldn't know. I don't ever play it. That's a fucking nice monitor to play Overwatch on, though.
Yeah, I was jealous of that.
That's pretty dope.
Man, I feel inadequate now. I've just got one like 4K monitor.
That monitor wouldn't fit on my desk.
Yeah, that monitor would not
No.
fit on my desk.
Am
I
I-
already have like the biggest monitor I can have,
Yeah.
and it's like even another inch.
Am I crazy for like I just bought a small monitor, A, because I'm poor, but B, because I feel like if I get a huge monitor, it doesn't help me with games. Like I feel like I'm more focused and attentive on this.
I'm like that.
this thing.
If you go to my office, I have an Xbox and the monitor's like this big.
Right.
I like something about that I like.
Well, when I'm playing PUBG, I like the increased resolution because then you see like little things. Like you can pick out someone like in the grass a lot better.
Those little fuckers
Yeah, at home,
running.
I have a 30-inch 4K monitor, just normal 16:9, but I have it pulled right up to the point my keyboard can only just fit, and I'm right up against it, and it's great because you can really look into your crosshair
You
details.
hear the eyes sizzling, the irises going.
Yeah.
a nice sear on them.
Yeah, when in doubt, just bring it all up to your face.
So my
That's what she said.
my hoodie came through today, and
Your hoodie came through
on PUBG with the 14-day hold. So I now, thanks to Mickey Oman, I now have my white hoodie. So
what a great
thank you
birthday
very
gift for
much.
me.
And
He tried to send me a bunch more stuff too, and I was just like, "Hey, no, that's fine."
You should have been like, "Hey,
he
give
might
it
be
to
friending
Gus."
you to send you because now he wants to send Plum Squad like these things.
Plum Squad.
Yeah,
What's
What?
Plum Squad?
it's our podcast Let's Play PUBG group.
Right, I've
It's what
I
happens
have
when we can't
noticed
get
that
Gavin.
I've noticed that I'm on the podcast as well,
You're always making your other Let's Plays.
but I'm not in Plum
It's all
Squad.
him. I don't get his criteria for.
I don't want to take you away from the other Let's Plays you're doing.
Why don't you leave that to be my decision, Gus?
Maybe I don't know.
When's our next Plum Squad?
I don't want anyone in that room resenting me like, oh, that fucker over there's making his own videos and he's taking our people away.
I don't tell them where I would just be like, I'm leaving. And then I walk out the door.
All right. I just don't want to create.
Let me be the Plum Squad intern.
If I'm going to create bad blood, I would rather it be with you than with these other people
Jeff.
I don't know as well. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Well, Jeff's
not
your best
happy about
friend,
it.
right?
Jeff's a friend.
Oh, really? Interesting. He calls you his best friend.
I'm kidding. God, can people take a joke? Fucking hell.
Well, you're a
dog is
grown
his
man.
best
You don't
friend.
have to have a best friend. I mean, I always think it's a weird distinction.
I'll
Who's
be
your
honest.
best friend?
I guess I would say, well, Ashley, because we
Bullshit.
just talk about everything.
Bullshit.
What?
What's she ever done for you?
She and then I have kids. Like I mean, my kids are.
Oh my God, this isn't Miss America. Who's your best friend, dude?
What's that?
Oh, Blaine getting...
I'm saying,
Blaine
like,
losing
aside
patience.
from that, 'cause
Can I
yes,
ask you a personal question? Who's your best friend?
Listen, Alana is, I would say, as well, my best friend. It's the person that I get along with. Aside from that, that's the obvious answer.
It's
Aside
not
from
you. Are you fishing for you?
that. No, no, we would
I would
never.
say Hullum, Matt. Yeah, I've known Matt for 25 years at this point, and we work together every single day.
I would have said Joel.
Maybe Joel, possibly.
25 years. That's such a long time.
Gus is high up on the list.
Who's your best friend, Gavin?
I'd say
Don't say Meg. I already know.
Matt and Gus are right there.
Ooh.
Boom, boom, like this.
We're like kissing. Yeah.
I would say Jeff.
Guess.
What?
Who's your best friend?
I don't know. That's such a weird question to me.
Who's your best friend, Blake?
I've never had a best friend. I've never had one.
Maybe.
It's a weird thing, right? Yeah, I have to think about it. And then you're like ranking people you know.
Right, yeah. Like it goes back to like the boyfriend girlfriend thing. Like it's like a little
silly.
kid label or
It's so
something.
silly.
I'd say probably Drew Saplin. He's the he directs.
have you lived
I like how you have to explain who he is.
I
No,
feel like,
he works at Rooster Teeth, but nobody knows.
I feel like you can
He
really...
works here.
You can only be best friends with someone you've lived with, I would say.
What?
Would you say that that's not true?
Well, in that case,
so you're 10?
in that case, it's my mom. Duh.
But you lived with Matt.
Yeah, but that was like, I mean, but 10-year-olds have best friends. 30-year-olds don't. I mean, so 10-year-olds aren't living with their best friend.
No, I don't mean living with now. I mean just have lived with.
Okay, go back to the. Okay, Gus, please help me out of this. How do I get in this?
What did I do?
How can a 10-year-old have a best friend then?
I'm not talking about 10-year-olds.
you're talking about best friends.
Yeah, I'm
saying
saying
the
now,
criteria?
as humans now on this couch having this podcast live.
Okay,
on a
now
Monday,
you're adding the qualifiers. That
Okay.
wasn't there before.
I would say I became best friends with Jeff because I lived with him.
That makes sense.
I'm sure if any of us, well, Gus wouldn't be my best friend if we lived together,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't
okay
be
with
my best friend if we lived together. You would hate me.
Good Lord, couldn't begin to imagine it. Could not
Why
begin.
you just
I would feel I'd say you've got to be compatible enough with someone to the point where you can live, you can share a work, you can share a home, and not hate each other.
That's fair.
And I would say that doesn't apply to you and me.
We would hate each other.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
would hate me.
We've
I'd
had,
be fine.
We've had to stay in like hotels together in hotel rooms. Like
It's been fine.
Well, VidCon was the fucking worst. That was the worst. I wanted to choke you out and leave you for dead in the fountain.
Ashley just texted me and said, "Shut up."
Why?
Because I was saying,
What did she ever
Ashley
do?
can't be your best friend.
She is. Ashley's my best friend. Here's what I think. If something happens, who do you call?
Sorry, Ashley.
Ghostbusters.
Nice.
Good job.
That got an applause.
Can we end on that?
All right, let's wrap it up.
That's a good ending for you guys.
That's it. I'm out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget, RTX tickets are available now. You get early bird pricing through the end of this week. I think March 8th at 11:59 p.m. is when early bird pricing ends. Oh,
But
until
don't
Friday,
feel
39.
obligated to buy them until after they change the color of my beard in that thing. They got to get back.
You mean Gus's beard?
All right.
Gus's beard.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.